This foolproof method is guaranteed to take your skin from looking like this to silky smooth and completely hair-free just in time for the summer. And if you've got sensitive skin like me, this is a game changer. Using all natural ingredients that you most likely have lying around in your kitchen, I'm going to teach you this simple homemade recipe for sugar wax. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where I grow my natural hair and my muscles. So it's quite ironic that considering I talk about growing natural hair, in this video I'm talking about hair removal. So if you're anything like me and you're a hairy girly that seems to be able to grow hair in every other place except the actual place where I want excessive hair growth, then this is for you. So I'd always struggled with hair removal from as long as I decided that I did not want to have hair in certain parts. Shaving was an absolute no-no for me because of my sensitive skin. I would have ridiculous shave bumps as well as hyperpigmentation and scarring, which struggle of life. I also struggled with hair removal creams because the chemical burns as well as the hyperpigmentation and skin darkening as well in parts did not like. In fact, I'm still recovering from some of that. The trauma! And then, like regular hard wax, I found was too painful. But I discovered sugar waxing or Halawa wax thanks to my northern upbringing. So fun fact about me, I was actually raised in Kano State. So in Hausa sosai kuma na iya magana Hausa kamar mutanen Kano, which just translates to I understand and speak Hausa quite fluently. Anywho, I discovered sugar waxing, but I never bothered to learn how to make the wax or wax myself, to be honest, because I lived in Nigeria for a period of time and it was at my disposal for like ridiculously affordable prices. Now I live in the UK, and not only do I live in a very small town where the ethnic minority or the Black or Nigerian population is next to nothing, finding someone who specializes in sugar waxing is pretty much ridiculous to fathom, right? Anyway, I started ordering my sugar wax online, which worked out at first. But then from this particular brand that I ordered from, the last like 2 or 3 orders I placed with them, when the wax came, it was completely stale. And it ended up just hurting me because it would stick, but it wouldn't pull. Oh, the trauma of it all. So I decided to bite the bullet one day and actually just learn how to make my own sugar wax because I'm such a DIY girl. Like, I like to do my own things. Like, I've been infusing oils and shit, okay? Anyway, decided to learn how to make sugar wax, and oh my god, not only is it a money saver because that online waxing purchases were starting to rack up, considering how often I have to remove unwanted hair. Of course, disappointment like of getting bad batches of wax. Also not fully 100% knowing what was actually in the wax, even though some people say that they're pure sugar and maybe lemon. You never really know. You just never know. And the satisfaction of being able to do something myself, I guess, is part of the reasons why I learned how to make my own sugar wax. So in this video, I'm going to show you a simple, dead easy, like 10-minute method of making your own sugar wax, and it will last you for like 2 sessions. So come with. Now we're not guesstimating our measurements here, so unfortunately no guidance from the ancestors. We need accuracy, so get your measuring cups. For this one, we're going to get 1 cup of just regular ordinary sugar, which we're going to transfer into a pot. I like to use a non-stick pot. Those are the pots I have in my house, and just spread that across the entire base of the pot. We need a 1/4 cup of just clean water, which works fine, and then go ahead and pour that water into the pot gently, covering as much of that sugar as possible. Then we're going to go in with softening and loosening the juices of our lemon. This is my hack for juicing a lemon, and it works wonders. I'm going to stick a metal prong all the way down and just shake it and wiggle it a bit, and you can use a toothpick or a wooden skewer for this. But listen, the quantity of juice with way less mess that I get from using this method is actually unbelievable. And this works a lot better if the lemon you have is a bit older, so it's ripened a lot more, and now the skin is softer because then it breaks less. In fact, it doesn't break at all. But then we're going to get a 1/4 cup of this lemon juice and completely submerge / cover our sugar so there's no dry spots at all. Now we're going to go ahead and put our mixture in the pot on low to medium heat. Now there's a temptation to want to stir this mixture. Please do do not stir because ultimately it's caramel, and if you stir caramel it crystallizes, so it gets hard and you'll be left with a hard mess. And you want to keep on boiling it until it starts to change color to this golden brown color, and don't leave it on for too long because it could actually burn. Now we're just going to transfer this into a microwave safe container. This is a container I've used for way too long at this point, and it's completely microwave safe and it does well with the heat. So I use a silicone spatula to just sweep all of my sugar wax or caramel wax into a container. And ultimately what we want to do is let that cool, and when it cools we want it to have a taffy-like texture. If it's hard, then it means that you either stirred or your sugar wax has burnt. So you want to be very mindful of the color. Remember, a golden brown color. And this is it after it has cooled. You can see it's very malleable, it's very soft to the touch but also firm at the same time, no crystallization whatsoever. You should be able to pull on your wax just like that and it should feel like taffy. It's actually edible, that's the best part, but don't eat it please. And when you're ready to use it, just heat it up in the microwave for 30 to 40 seconds. What I like to do next is go in with a wooden spatula just to stir the entire mixture to make sure that all of the wax is evenly dissolved from the heat. And at this point, this mixture is actually very hot, so you want to be careful. I like to have it at a runnier texture because I use wax strips for my own process. I know that some of us might want to do the traditional way of using our hands, but because of my nails, I tend to avoid that. So I want a runnier texture. So I use these reusable wax strips, which once I'm done with them, I just chuck them in the wash and everything is dissolved right off, including the hair. So this is how I like to use my own sugar wax. I know, of course, there's a traditional Halawa way of using our hands, but like I said, because of my nails, this is just a time saver and a nail preserver for me. And you can see how much hair you can get out in one go with a wax strip. With the traditional way of just using your fingers, if you're not a pro at it, it can be very time consuming and a lot more painful because you have to do it little bits at a time. Whereas with the wax strips, I just go over it once and that entire area is pretty much cleared out. So it cuts the time in half for me, considering I'm doing it by myself. And remember, I'm doing my legs, I'm doing my underarms and other parts, bikini line as well. I do that all by myself. Don't even get me started on the awkward positions trying to wax areas. But yeah, look at how smooth my skin already feels. You can easily find those wax strips on Amazon, but in the case where you don't have access to them, you can also use just regular cotton fabric. Now, if you don't have access to any of those, you can actually use the spatula with a slightly thicker mixture. You can pull back the hair with your wooden applicator, just like this. Yeah, very, very easy to do. And again, if you have an even thicker wax, you can use your fingers, you can use your hands, just like the traditional Halawa wax. But again, my nails, time, all of the factors that I don't want to sound like a broken record. You kind of see what I mean. And the issue with this one is I can only do small portions at a time, as opposed to when I use my reusable wax strips. But yeah, all in all, this process is foolproof. There's so many options. You can literally do it anywhere. There's no risk of irritation because it's all fairly natural ingredients. I say fairly because how natural is sugar, really? Nevertheless, this simple DIY method does wonders for your skin, as it also exfoliates your skin. And who doesn't love a transformation? Silky smooth skin just in time for summer. So like this video, comment, let me know if you're trying this method out, and share this video if you care. Subscribe to my channel for more exciting DIY girly hacks. Thank you for watching.